There are quite a few things I am significantly bad at, but probably the thing I am the worst at is actually just finishing things. But finishing a book series is by far the thing I have the most difficulty doing. Generally because the book series isn't completed by the time I finish whatever the most recent book is, and then I forget about the series. It happens a lot. So I figured I would take a look at some of the book series I haven't finished. Now if you played the card game Magic the Gathering, then you might be aware that prior to the Innistrad block coming out, they would release books that went with the blocks. Prior to Zendikar, these books generally came in trilogies. From the Odyssey block, which is when I started playing Magic, there are 3 books in the series. Odyssey, Chainer's Torment, Judgment. I read the first 2 books in the series, no problem. Then I got to Judgment, which everyone said is by far the best book in the trilogy. And I just kind of stopped reading. Yeah. Got like 4 chapters in, was like, I feel like watching a movie, and then never picked the book back up. Now a series I didn't read for an entirely different reason was Datum. You see, I read this book, and I liked this book. My best friend at the time, Katie, recommended it to me, and I was like, wow, this book is amazing. The problem was, we picked this book up from my school library. They didn't have any of the next books in the series. They supposedly were out, but they didn't exist. We couldn't find them anywhere. These are like the invisible books I can never find. Another series that I'm currently being attacked by was a series of unfortunate events. I have quite a few of them. The first one, the second one, 2 copies of the third one given to me by a friend, the 4th one, the 5th one, the 6th one, the 7th one, the 8th one, and the 9th one. And then I stopped. There's only 13. That's 4 more books. And these aren't even like difficult adult novels. These are children's books that I just never got around to reading. What happened with this one was, I got to the end of the series before the series was finished. So I had to wait for the books to come out, and by the time the next book came out, I had already probably read about 20 books and had forgotten about the series. Which tends to be my biggest problem when book series come out. The book series isn't finished, so I have to wait, and as a result of waiting, I forget about the series. And this is an example of me stumbling onto a series that I didn't know was a series. I picked up Dark Quetzal from my book order at school for 79 or 75 cents. 95 cents. Less than $1. And turns out, this is the 3rd book in a trilogy that I read first. I found one of the 2 books. I think this is actually the first one. Sorry, this is the first one. Yep. So I read the ending of the saga, then I read the beginning of the saga, and I haven't been able to find Crystal Mask or whatever it is. And the couple, I think I found it once, but I didn't have any money on me, because that is how it works. Then I have another Magic the Gathering series that I started but didn't finish. The Onslaught block, which immediately followed the Odyssey block, featuring the books Onslaught, Legions, and Scourge. I didn't own these books at the time. I picked them up from my library. This is one of the few books I've actually managed to read in a day. It was really good. But they had the library had the first 2 books, but not the 3rd one. So as a result, I never read the 3rd one. So a while back, I went to my local library, and they have a section where you can buy the books. They actually had both of these books for sale, so I bought them. They did not, however, have this book. So now I owned 2/3 of the series, and was like, okay, now I have to go buy the other book. So I bought the other book, and I'm like, I'm going to read it. just as soon as I get around to it. Getting around to it always seems to be the problem, doesn't it? Perhaps the series I am most ashamed of not finishing is Artemis Fowl. This is the only series that I have ever chosen over Harry Potter. The entire time the Harry Potter series was released, I was like, Harry Potter is my favorite book series. Except for a very short time period when I was angry with Harry Potter the way you get angry with a best friend, and left it for Artemis Fowl. But I have not yet read The Last Guardian. I've started it. I'm on chapter 2, I think. I got this book. I pre-ordered this book, so I got it the day it came out. But yeah, like, now that I have the book, I have no rush to read it. Like, because I know this is the last book, I don't want the series to end. So it's just sitting here saying read me, and I'm like, but I don't want it to be over. So, goal for before the end of the year, finish The Last Guardian.